Okay, so we're back. We're back from our last meeting left off. We were just talking about how to go through the application process and how to get your American National ID. If we could just like uh, show that again, show the ID and the process and everything, that'll be great. Because the last meeting was just cutting up. Okay. So there we go,
This
guys.
whole thing, guys, shouldn't cost any more than $100 for everything.
And you
So
can do
don't be
it,
fooled.
yeah. We can do it ourselves, and we have recorders in every state, but some states they're not set yet because there's only maybe one person or something like that. So we're trying to find a way to help other states with that process. You can do it yourself too in different ways, but we can talk about that later. The more important thing before we get out of here is to go to the coloradoassembly.org, and you can go to resource. There is a link right there called resource. When you go to that one, you go to your left and it's continued education material. That's where you can learn a lot, but it's just a lot of information, and you can choose and pick and choose. We will recommend for you to get the book called You Know Something Is Wrong When. That would be a good book to start with. Really nice. Then the second one is Anna Van Reitz. Right, I'm sorry. She was a judge, and let me tell you about her a little bit. When she was 20 years old, she came home to have lunch, like a regular person coming home to have lunch at noon, whatever. That was the day when Mr. Nelson Rockefeller, who was the vice president, he was taking an oath when Mr. Ford was the president, and Mr. Ford was the president after Nixon went down after 2 years, you know, what happened to Nixon. So Mr. Nelson Rockefeller was the vice president and taking an oath that day that she was having lunch at home. So one of the questions that they were asking Mr. Rockefeller was, so how much money you make last year in income? And he says, I don't know, 500,000, whatever it was.
In the millions.
In millions, whatever. And how much taxes did you pay? And he says, 0. And then the lady, this lady, Anna, she was like, you know, surprised how he made so much money. And she says, so they asked him the question again. And he says, yeah, I didn't pay no taxes. We're talking about when Mr. Ford was the president of this country. So then she started thinking and says, well, I'm 20 years old, I'm working so hard, and I'm paying at least third of my income in taxes. So she started kind of thinking, I'm gonna find out how these people, they're not paying taxes and how I am paying taxes. So her career pretty much started when she was 20, started learning about the law, and she became a judge and all this stuff. So for 40 years, she's 65 right now. And for 40 years, she's investigating all these fraud things and all this criminal stuff that have been happening to us. And so on her website, that is Anna Van Reitz, that you can see it on the website on the left, you can go to that, but it's a lot of information there. I will suggest that you can go to videos and audios. I will send that to Mike, and Mike can share with you all of this, so you don't have to kind of remember all of this. And then when you go to videos, is one very important at the beginning of the page, and it's number 6 that she sent a message to Mr. Trump in 2018. That was really good to listen to. It's about 10 minutes. It's not too long. And then the other ones, we will tell you which one to listen to, where she talks about the banks and the credit unions that we're putting together and all this stuff. Now, the next one is American State Assembly. That's the one that you would like to get into, because it's all the states with all the coordinators, but some of these states, we had to remember, they don't want the evil, the cabal, they don't want for us to learn and to know what our rights are. So we have people infiltrated, I think I can say that, like in our group here in Colorado. Actually, we have a lady that she tried to call me because I had to go and talk in a place. And she came to me and she knew I was American state citizen. And then she came to me and she belongs to the group. I didn't know her because I was new. And she wanted to go and have lunch with me and coffee. So she's one of the ones in our own assembly that's trying to take people out to form her own group. So be aware that no matter where we go, people wanted to come after us. So don't be disappointed. Just, you have to know who you are and where you are and what we're doing. We're not taking over the government. We are restored the government. What we're doing is, okay, as an assembly, we are a group. We have power as we the people. We are not here to cause any war. We are here in peace to tell our sheriffs, hey, this is the way it used to be. This is your job.
1776, we're taking it back to
Yeah,
1776.
so the idea of being an assembly is because we're going to be in group. What about if I go with these people that on the weekend, we went to South Dakota. We were there for 3 days. Groups and groups, they were trying to come after us because we were our teachers. This is my nieces in Dallas, they made this. And then we have our flag, that is our,
This is the true peace flag.
this is the 13 colonies, and it's the peace flag. So we were
That's
this
cool.
when
I
we-
like that shirt.
Yeah, we have few, we can talk about that later. Anyways, so what happened is when we went to the park and everywhere because we're proud of what we're doing. When you are criminal and you want to do after, behind the scenes, when you know who you are and what you do, you are free. I mean, I'm from another country, but I'm here for 25 years and I love this country.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I love this. Oh, look at that beautiful thing right there.
Keegan's got it going on. What's up?
Ah,
Keegan?
he knows.
He does.
Let's bring
does.
Keegan. Let's bring Keegan in here
Yeah,
for a second.
let's go.
Let's Keegan.
Yeah, sure.
Introduce yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, gang. My name is Keegan Smith. I'm a musician turned farmer. As of 2017, I moved away from Portland and my career because I had been studying all this crazy stuff for years. So I moved away to this farm. This is my farm where
Nice.
where I've grown my hair long and become one with the earth. And what I've really done is I've learned to speak more languages. I have learned the language of legalese. I have learned Mandarin Chinese, and I heard you guys speaking some patriotic talk, and just know that I have all the love in the world for the hearts of patriots. But as I heard you discussing Rockefeller and just one fragment of all the shady things that we've ever had to deal with, that's what also led me onto this path of becoming a state national, which all of us are going to have different stories to tell, my friends. And the most important part is that you can tell your story better than anybody else. Because if you can tell your story from your heart and from your mind, and from your soul, and I heard you say earlier, I'm sorry, Marian, okay, there's your name. I heard you say before, you have to know who you are. And boy, is that ever the truth. And though we the people in assembly is so powerful, what stands above we the people, get this, guys. This is a humble opinion, but it comes from my heart, and my heart tells me what's real. So the only thing that stands above we the people is I am. And if you can stand there in front of, Sadducees and Pharisees, or judges, or police officers, or military officials, or a tribunal of 13, powerful people at the top of a pyramid in Israel. If you can stand alone and say, I am O, presented as I, a man of living flesh and blood, the natural living man of the land, not of the sea, though I visit from time to time, I have never perished, nor have I ever been lost. I'm here today on divine authority, making a special visitation. And let me be very, very clear that it is not an appearance as to the summons that you have sent me, as I am not a demon, I'm not a ghost, and I'm not a spirit, and I do not appear when I'm told to all rise. I do not stand, because I am the living man. And that name, that all caps name that you have on that document called a birth certificate, is a created document. And I believe it is why you think you have jurisdiction over me, because you created that document. But that document was created 1 second after I took my first breath, where my certificate of birth was sent away to the Vatican, and an account was started in my name in the International Monetary Fund of $3.3 million. It used to be known as the SESQV Trust. And I'm the trustee of that trust account. And I'm here to tell you that the gold fringe on that flag there, which we all know as Old Glory, this is a captured courtroom. And that is a war flag. I don't fly a war flag. I fly a civilian peace flag. If you need to look up the law of flags, please do so. If you don't know who is the man or woman behind, what is the God-given name of the man or woman behind that black robe? John. Hey, John, I'll be referring to you as John from now on. And most of my questions I'll be directing straight over there to the clerk, the cleric, the clergy, the Pharisee, the Sadducee, whoever that judge is over there. Because I am the living man. And they will know, they will recognize that I know. And I know codes too, guys. I've got 180 pages of case law to bring them down. But know this, we are still, no matter what we do, all these wonderful things that we're going to work together to figure out, my friends, we are still playing their game, but we're showing them that we are in fact more powerful than them. They are all servants. You hear me? They are all servants. They've given their life over to a different power. I don't want to call it a higher power. I'll just say they've given their divine power away to be controlled and to have a master. And that's why they have certain rules that they have to live by. And if you can discover that this is all true, everything that I'm saying is true. I went into court 2 weeks ago and we absolutely decimated what was called a magistrate. I looked it up ahead of time. It wasn't a real court. It was an administrative magistrate. It was nonsense. People that have no jurisdiction, and they couldn't prove venue or jurisdiction. They couldn't prove it was a judicial court because they don't have the authority. And they definitely 100% could not prove jurisdiction because why? I've done my affidavit of repudiation. I wrote a letter and I'll tell you how I did it too. I wrote a letter to Donald Trump because I believe he's going to come back into presidency, but I'm also going to do it again, guys, because why not? We can do whatever we want. We're so powerful. I'm going to write a new letter to Biden and Kamala Harris because I wrote the last one was to Trump and to the Secretary of State and to the Secretary of State of Oregon. I'm going to write my I do not consent letter, one of the most brilliant letters I've ever penned. It basically goes into the spiritual, it goes into the aliens, it goes into the Nephilim, it goes into everything. And I'm going to send that one straight addressed to Pope Francis. I'm sending it to the Vatican and letting them know that they do not own my soul. I'll put in there, if none of this is true, then this letter was only to make sure that that the world knows my soul is my own. But I know for a fact, guys, I just don't want to be a judge, but I know for a fact that if I send these letters around, it's going to come back and help me. When I stand before any sort of court and people will be like, you think that's going to save you? I'll tell you, hey, man, if there are levels to this, if this is the citizenship that's going down like the Titanic, I've just jumped onto what is the first life raft, which is jumping off of what? The Titanic, the citizenship. That's going to go down. And everybody that doesn't realize that they don't have rights because, like, what did you say before, Miriam? You said, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. And in Roman maxim law, does anyone know what that is? Roman maxim law is just an earlier version of the same statement because we're all run by the Roman Nazis of the world, the Satanist Roman Nazis. So their statement is Roman maxim law is let those who will be deceived be deceived. So what we're all doing here, guys, is we're trying to build up our armor. We're trying to build up our strength in our spiritual presence and our corona, which is really generally for most people about 6 feet, but for some it can stretch miles. Those who are in tune with their hearts. And our job is to lift each other out of the muck and the mire that we're all been placed into without even knowing it through constructive fraud. The day you were born, and they coerced our parents, which is another felony. They coerced our parents under duress. Your mother not in her right mind as she's just had a baby. Dad's all worried that is the baby okay? Sign these documents, register your child, give us this footprint, give us this thumbprint. Boom. You're no longer a living entity. You're dead, lost at sea. You're a vessel, a ship that must be docked back on the shores. It must be docked back on the shores. And my guess is, guys, most of us U.S. citizens, even though it is our mission to restore, like I heard you guys talking about restoring, but more importantly, what we must restore before government is ourselves. If we can't restore ourselves, we have no business trying to run a country, let alone anybody else. But if you can restore yourself, you can do anything. I promise you that. I took myself out of drugs, out of alcohol, out of depression. My ex-wife left me. My band threw me to the wolves. I didn't know what I was going to do next until I looked within and a statement came to my brain and to my heart that said, I can do all things through he who strengthens me. And I don't care what you believe, but when stuff like that enters your mind and you haven't even been doing anything to deserve this kind of messages, you better listen. And I listened. Look at me now. I went from living in my mom's basement to just finishing my municipality. I'm about to fly my Keegan Smith flag and my civilian peace flag. And if you don't know the law of flags, look it up. It's a beautiful thing. I look at the civilian peace flag, guys, as the governmental version of the Passover, sacrificing a lamb to make sure that the angel of death doesn't come and take your baby. Now, if you look at it a different way, that's okay too, guys, because as long as you stand in pure confidence, back to what Miriam was saying about knowing yourself, as long as you stand in pure confidence with the story that you tell, no one can tell a better story than you if it's your story. Don't let them write your story, guys. They're going to make sure that they try to write every one of our stories. And most of us will probably go, yeah, that's me on the all caps name. Yeah, that's not me that did that, but I may have done that. Do you guys know that when they write you a letter, when the government writes you a letter that says you in all caps, and they mention you multiple times, you were seen doing this, or you owe this, or you owe that, or you owe this. If you answer one of those questions, just one, with an affirmation that you is you, that you is ye, if you answer that you is ye, which is ye is actually you, if you answer that ye is you once, then every one of those things charges gets dropped on your head. So if they said you murdered someone, but you're like, what's that all about? You don't even answer that question. Then they said you had a parking ticket. Well, I had that one parking ticket because I was trying to go double park because I was trying to take my wife to the hospital. You just admitted you're a murderer. Why is that the truth? Because they say it is. And if you accept it, it is.
Yeah, that's important to understand that when we talk to them, we just come in the contract with them.
Don't let them drag you into their jurisdiction.
So Keegan, thank you very much. It would be nice to have, I think Mike has maybe 10 more minutes, but yeah, I agree with all of you, what you're saying. It would be nice to have you and learn from you because you have a lot of experience. We don't. We just been here for 2 months. Been learning a lot in the last 3 months, reading a lot, spending a lot of time, but this is what I'm gonna say. Yes, you're right. We had to come to the point that we had to know who we are, where we're going to stand. Now, what we're doing is individual. We had to restore or do, my English is not that great, so please forgive me. So I'm trying to do it the best that I can.
I love that you know multiple languages. I'm literally learning Mandarin Chinese right now. So we're all going to help each other with all the different languages of the world. It's going to be beautiful.
Spanish and Japanese right here.
Okay,
perfect.
So let's go talk about this. We respect everybody because that's the idea. We're in peace right here. So this is the deal. I want the best for my county. I want the best for my state, and I want the best for this country, this nation. So if I do individual, that's okay. But I like to be in an assembly. Why? Because then I will learn more. I don't have time to learn like Keegan did or some other people because they're great, wonderful. But for me, it's more difficult. So I like to listen to others and get my own opinion and stuff. So
but there's power in numbers too.
We're in the assembly. Why? What we're going to do? Yesterday, we went and met with some sheriffs from this state. And, we didn't have a meeting, but now we have a meeting in the 13th with our county sheriff. We're going to go and talk to them really the way it is. I mean, they are our servants. They're being paid to do the job for the community. What we want to do, we want to have the voice for these kids that they don't have no voice, for these veterans that they went to war that was all invented. Everything is a joke. People being dead and being killed just for the lives of these criminals. So what we had to do, like my husband and I, not everybody's going to do the same thing, is we go and talk to the sheriffs, to the police chief, and to the governor. We've been sending letters like Keegan has been doing, but we're doing it in assembly as a group. So we've been sending letters to all these people, and we're going to be facing them. We're going to be talking to them face to face. And like I said, we have a meeting with our county sheriff here. And it's not to tell him, hey, I'm sorry, no. Are you doing your job or you're not doing your job? I mean, stuff like that. Anyways, so when you join the assembly, it's numbers. So when we do that, yeah, that's cool. When we would do that, then we can have more power to help the other, our neighbor, our brothers, our sisters.
Right.
Doesn't matter if they're going to be blind. Some of these people, they're never going to see the truth. Doesn't matter. You keep going and you keep going doing the right thing, because this world is the world that belongs to all of us. The creator or the divine, whatever you want to call, put this world for us, and we had to defend it. Nobody can tell us what to do. Now, about the house and all of this that we're talking before, the assembly, we have a lot of paperwork. It's already done. You just need to go search. We have emails. We have all kind of information for your driver license, for your land, for your plates, for all this stuff. So like, for example, me, I just maybe go driving and maybe they're going to stop me. Maybe I don't know much about it. So I'm going to travel. So we have people in the assembly that they know better, that they have all these wise information, and they can come and help them.
Here's one real quick. And I always like to stop my friends and family when we're talking. And you said, just because you won't forget it when I stop you, you said, when you're driving, you're never driving.
No,
You're traveling.
You're traveling. Yes.
There you go.
Let's
always remind each other. Always remind each other. Don't be bashful about it. It's going to be very helpful. Carry on.
I've seen YouTube videos of actually people that's gotten stopped and they were in this situation and they said, we're traveling. They didn't show them their ID or anything like that. And the cop would have to prove. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The cop would have to.
We went through that. We learned already. So you're right. Thank you so much for reminding about that one. So when we're traveling, we are going from point A to point B, doing our business, our stuff. They don't have no rights to stop us.
They're our employees anyway, like the politicians are our employees.
What happened is this. If they had the light, how you call the siren light, that's an emergency, like the ambulance, like the fire department. So means that when they do that, they're supposed to be going to an emergency. They have only two reasons they can stop you or me. Only if they believe that you are in an emergency or in a crime situation. Those are the only two times. So when they stop you because you're going to move to the right, thinking that they're going to continue, no, they're going to come after you. So when they come to your window, you can say, "How are you, officer? Is something wrong? I'm in emergency or I'm in a criminal situation or crime." So they're going to say, "What?" And you have to have control of the situation. You're not going to give them your name because they don't need your name. You're not going to give no information to them.
With them.
So as soon as you give your name or any of your IDs to them, you are done, because you are going to go coming under their jurisdiction. So you are traveling and you don't have to do that. Not even if you don't have credentials, if you're not in the land, doesn't matter. That's our rights. Right now, you can go travel from point A to point B and they cannot have any jurisdiction
and they're supposed
over
to support us anyway.
Anyways, the only time that you're going to have a driver license is if you work for the government, for the federal, or for the municipality, or if you're driving a truck for a company. I mean, in the meantime, we had to survive. We had to work. Some of the people, we had to survive, so we had to do our life, whatever we had to, have. Now, so certain things we've been learning. So the website, I'm telling you, I'm going to send that to Mike so to guide you guys in steps. Now, the other important thing is we have a working in the bank. It's an international global bank, and it's going to be ready maybe in about 2 months. It's happening, it's very, very slow because the cabal doesn't want for us to be free, of course. So they're putting all kind of stupid piece of things in the road. So people is working and going. So we're thinking we need 3 more signatures and something like that. So the bank is going to be running in about 2 months. Now, also our prepaid cards are coming also. What is that going to be helping us? Since Keegan was talking about all this, the problem that we have with the 1666 Act, that is the one that he was talking about, the Celsius Q View Act 1666. So I send it to Mike. It's really explain a lot of stuff, so you can read it about it. He can forward it to you. So what happened is we have funds, we have money. They stole from us since the beginning for 160 years, really, or more. Anyways, so that money, we have the rights to go back and reclaim that. So we're going to have the prepaid card in about 2 months. So when we are on the land, we had the right to get that too. What they're gonna pay? They're gonna pay our mortgage monthly, our bills, medical bills, our
Education,
education, student
student
loans,
loans.
credit cards, and things like that.
Not
So
all at once though, because it would drive
Yeah,
everyone crazy.
it's
They're
gonna
gonna pay
be-
it like monthly.
it's gonna be monthly. So we're gonna kind of get the prepaid card and sync into the bills, and they're gonna be paid every month. If you have any type of projects that you want to have, whatever you want, you want to apply for that, the bank is going to give you the money, you're not going to have a problem. Money is not going to be a problem. The problem is how to use it
In the correct way.
and in the correct way, whatever. But yeah, we're going to have all those stuff. So if you want to jump into the website and check it out and read about those stuff, it's wonderful. The land, we have already papers to do the land and to do all the stuff that we had to work in our personal life to become in the land completely. We don't want to be in the land and be dealing with the corporation. We don't want to be in the land and then you have to go and do business with them. You cannot jumping from jurisdiction to jurisdiction is not a good thing. We had to learn who we are, where we are, and who we're dealing with. The less we jump and deal with them, the better.
On their.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Anyways, so I don't think we have much time, but I'm going to be sending to Mike.
Yeah,
the information that we have.
I think I'm gonna put maybe a website together, like a one-stop go-to website. Could you guys hear me? It says your internet is unstable. You guys hear me? You guys hear me?
Just bits and pieces, Mike.
Yeah, it said your internet is unstable. What I was saying is,
Yeah,
I think I'm going to create a website, a one-stop go
Wow.
website to do step-by-step process and have all the links on one website. Do you hear me?
and if Keegan can help us with that because he has a lot of knowledge and stuff like that, we would like to learn from him. Because it's amazing. I mean, I really admire you. I'm sure my family too, because this is a process that when you're dealing with these people by yourself, you are strong and you exactly know what you're doing and who you are. We're learning because it's difficult for us to come from all our lives doing what we're doing and come and says, wow, what happened to this? You know, what is what we have? So Keegan is certain a good tool if you can help us to put stuff on also and you know kind of guide us also because we're husband and I we have only 2 months and Mike is just kind of following us and stuff, so we need some help here too.
Well, let me encourage you really quickly. I've been researching this stuff for a long time, but it wasn't until February that I found out, because I was feeling pretty discouraged, guys. I was like, you know, great, I have a farm. Who cares? I know that the government has it in my warranty deed, which is what we all own. When we own sticks, we own equity in the sticks on top of the ground. We don't really own our land. So they can continue to say that we're a dead entity. So I didn't think that I didn't know if I could find a way to get out of this. Well, I was wrong. One of my friends got his back against the wall with the county. And he was like, should I fight or pay the fines? And I said, hey, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but fight, bro. This is the time. So I promised him that I would help him. I said, look, I will help you with everything I got. Because he called me. I'm scared. They're going to come after me. You know about this stuff. And I'm like, oh, geez. So we just started researching, guys. And over the course of the time, because I took back my life, I've done something called an affidavit of repudiation. I've acquired my land patent. I've done something called a deed of reconveyance. So every time I've signed my signature and said I was a U.S. citizen, I can now say I have it certified, so I can it's by a notary, so I can say that's off the list. I bring that with me at any court I go to. And the most important one.
What's that? You use the copyright after your name.
Yes, I went to a notary republic, and here's some more little tidbits for you guys. Getting a notary to sign something is powerful. Getting 3 witnesses to sign something is more powerful than having a notary. So you won't even have to have some special person with some ability. You just have 3 of them, and that's even better.
Right.
But I got something, like I said, all of our stories are going to be different. I have something unique that almost no one will have, because I think my family has a lot of cabal roots. I think I have a lot of 33rd degree master, grand poobah, whatever you want to call them, Masons in my family bloodline that worship Lucifer, the light bearer. So for better or for worse, that's in my bloodline. I was born on October 13th. It's a very occult day in 1976. My grandmother was born October 13th, and my sister was born on October 13th. So I have something inside of me that is almost like a supernatural power. And anyone who's probably a Christian or a Muslim or practicing any kind of faith, they would probably, if they heard or saw any of the things that I've been able to accomplish, it might turn into the Salem witch trials real quick. And all I'm here to tell you guys is we all have this power. I have engaged it. I let go of all drugs and alcohol. I changed my diet. I stopped eating meat. And I discovered along the way, as I started getting smarter, like literally my brain started working better. I started having a knowing about stuff. I didn't need faith or belief in anything. I just knew stuff. I got something called a patent in nativity. That's because my family can be traced back 400 years to the Mayflower.
Good.
Where my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, William Brewster, hid under the floorboards from the Redcoats as he was running from tyranny. So I've either had family members who are running from the Illuminati or in the Freemasons and Satan in general, or they were part of it. So my great-grandfather, Claude Clement Sr., he was the director of Public Works of Oregon. That right was given to him. That job was given to him by good old-fashioned Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He's a Freemason. And I don't know how much you guys know about all this, but just know this. One of the most difficult things to learn is that everyone you ever looked up to is pretty much compromised. But one of the most exciting parts about that knowledge is this. Once you realize that all of your heroes are basically controlled opposition, you become the hero of your own story, and you become the most incredible individual that's ever lived. In your own world, nobody is more important than you, because you have full control of your heart. You can make the right decision at all times. And if anyone tells you otherwise, we're not babies who are just figuring out the 3D world. No.
You have the power to create
We
your own
are
reality.
beings who have been led to complete confusion.
Well, Keegan, your birthday is just another day to us. We don't care.
Yeah,
We
you
love
have
you
the,
the same.
you have the power to, we all have the power to create our own reality too. So
All of us.
yeah.
Yeah, we do.
I just want to throw in here, guys, we got less than 5 minutes on this meeting, and we could continue this with, we can invite more people together, but it's amazing how life is, and I believe everything happens for a reason. Like Keegan said earlier, he's been studying this for about, quite some time. It was about 10 years ago when I read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, the second look of the Federal Reserve, that opened up my eyes. And then basically from there, I started learning everything about the fraud going on with the Constitution and everything. Over the past 10 years, I just didn't know how to apply it. I just happened to go to Mexico and meet Miriam and Jim. And now we're back in the United States, and this is all coming and gelling together. They're helping me apply this now. I didn't learn all this for the past 10 years and was slowly getting more and more aware just to die and not apply it. Everything happens for a reason. So I believe that we're all coming together and we're going to create miracles and change the world. We have the power to do that. And that's exactly what Keegan said. We have the power to do that. Let's do it, guys. Let's grow this thing.
We're going to do it, Mike. We're going to do it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
So
anyways, thank you so much.
Excited.
And yes, keep communicating. Yeah, let's go keep in communication. Anything, we're here. We don't know much, but we're here to help each other.
If we don't have the answer, we'll get it for
Yeah,
you. Just
so-
ask whatever you can.
Yeah, sure. Let's go communicate. We're gonna send our email address to you guys and through Mike, and see if we can communicate that way too. And any information that you can get, that we had to be aware that the cabal is out there to get us, and we had to be aware of just not get into their hands again. We had to
Not in
be
their
free.
jurisdiction, nothing.
Yeah, we have to be strong. We don't have to give our names to them. We don't have to give our information to them at all. We have to be just responsible people. We drive and we travel and stuff like that. And then we had to know what we're doing. So this is the deal that learning the terminology is wonderful. We have a lot of lists of
The
different
words matter,
the
guys.
words and
Very
the
important.
symbolism and everything is just crazy.
Yeah,
So
you have
but
to know, you have to learn the jargon. It's like when the cops, if you're not a state national,
That's
and
right.
you're underneath their jurisdiction, if the cop says, do you understand? And you say yes, he's really saying, are you under my jurisdiction? See, and that's how they trap you in a verbal contract.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, yeah, the as soon as you guys decide to do your status, we can help you with that. It's super easy, super simple, nothing from the other world. But if you want to go through that website and check it out and get some information, send some stuff to Mike, if you please share with them, especially with Dave and John.
Look in your chat. I put the coloradoassembly.org there. You can click on that right there and go right to the site, and that'll help you get started until we meet again.
But then, yeah, you go to resource, and now you can check it out and then go from there.
But Keegan's already ahead of me, but when I go to OregonAssembly.org, okay.
If it's not, just click on Colorado
No.
Assembly and you look around and it'll take you to your
Yeah,
state.
maybe they're not ready because like I'm saying, it's not enough people like in New Mexico. It's only like one lady or something. So doesn't matter. Let's go come to the Colorado. Through the Colorado, you can learn all these stuff. You can do your paperwork through them, through us, and then we can help
For
you.
less than $100,
Yeah,
guys.
like $70 only. And then
Yeah.
all the information is there for the land, for all the stuff. We have everything pretty much done. And we have pretty good people, guys that they know the law upside down, inside and everything. And that's why we meet every day from 8 to 9 and some of like 3 days a week in the evening. And then Wednesdays we have at noon, the new people come and ask questions and they,
We got a
you know,
Q&A.
whatever.
That's right.
So we're trying to be open. So just connect with us in the meantime. And then from here, you guys can see what's happening in your states. And if you are the only one, well, maybe you can start the
You can log
assembly
on
over
to our
there. Or
site and
whatever.
we'll help you through whatever you have to do wherever you are.
Well,
Yeah, so
I'll
thank you.
introduce my friend Laura to the group too. That's in New Mexico. Her
Okay.
family, her husband, her adult children. Like they I know they'd get involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
We have Windy. The one that we have in New Mexico is Windy. So maybe we can contact them together and they can start something
They
working.
can get
'Cause
together.
That's
Yeah.
the idea, to work in our counties and our states.
Power,
Right.
We
power
have to,
numbers.
yeah, we have
We
to
have,
fight
we
in
have
our
less
own
than
place
1
that we
minute,
are.
guys. We have less than 1 minute,
Okay,
guys. Now,
thank you so much.
Jim and Miriam, are you on Facebook? No, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Okay, so we all got to
No,
connect.
we didn't
I
want
don't
it.
get on
Okay.
it very much anymore.
We
I'm
didn't want
gonna-
to be, but we have to.
Look in the chat here. It's going to be
Everybody has what?
Facebook.com. I'm in Facebook jail right now. Facebook.com/Mike Mosbach online.
Everybody has.
Connect with me there, okay?